So today we are going to be talking about why I think the Sony a7S III is probably hands down the best YouTube vlogging camera that money can buy. But it does come at a cost, but we'll talk about that today. It is the season of pumpkin spice.
Apple cider all day.
Wait, is there like an argument between the two?
Yeah, apple cider, people, better. Pumpkin
Okay.
spice.
So we moved down to North Carolina just about a year ago, and inconveniently, if you guys are not aware, right when we moved down to North Carolina, it was just like dealing with an apartment and trying to build our new home. And right in the process of building our new home, COVID hit. We haven't had that much time to culture in North Carolina, so it's been kind of nice these last few weeks, finally getting out and about,
Checking things out.
being normal human beings for once. So first, I think I should address the elephant in the room, but again, to the point, just want to say that this is not supposed to be a topic of budget camera. We're like looking at the best of the best in the scenario, but the reality is this is a very expensive camera. Camera body alone on this is like $3,500 right now, brand new. That hurt you, didn't it, when I bought this camera?
Try not to think about it.
Good investment though, right?
So far, I guess.
It's just blown me up and made my videos huge. That's what a camera will do. You buy the camera and it will just make the success for you. It just does the job. That's how it works. Seriously though, at the end of the day, this is a topic of a creator maybe being at that point where they need to invest into their tool to be more efficient, to not have a lot of like user error and have to always be troubleshooting something or working through a situation. Like for example, I can't tell you how much time I saved moving from crop sensor to full frame, with me at the time being very picky about like my wedding film work and my vlogging, needing less time to work in Premiere to fix clips that were maybe like under or overexposed, or maybe the colors just weren't that well. When I moved to full frame, working with those larger files and better profiles, like I didn't have to do nearly as much work in post because the shot out of the camera was so much better, but that is also by learning things as well. But this camera is still expensive, but it does some crazy shit. So this is absolutely crazy to me. I can never get over this. Like get used to seeing these things in stores. We were actually out and about today. We stopped by a gas station here in North Carolina and ran into Gfuel cans. I remember a time like years ago, I want to say it was like 6 or 7 years ago, when I received my first ever OG black branded tubs of Gfuel. Fast forward 2 years later, here I am buying a can out of a store, the gaming community, Gfuel, everything is growing, and I love it. So what makes this thing so damn special? When talking best of the best, a few things comes to mind, but ultimately the big picture should be convenience. Like if I spend my money on something, how convenient will this be? And in terms of YouTube vlogging, content creation in this space, the reason why this thing stacks up to be the best in my experience so far is because of the options and qualities that it offers. So we're looking at 4K, high dynamic range, some encoding speeds that's not only the best of best now, like there's definitely some cameras out there that can do these things, but for the years to come, the speeds of this camera and what this is able to do will be very adaptive to the products and the quality of the content that is to come for the next few years. Meaning as YouTube gets better at compressing their videos to go out there to allow higher quality, cameras like this over time are going to kind of stand out a little bit more. Not to mention you have multiple options of slow motion if that's something you're interested in, so you can be like in the studio and have this very professional, exposed, well-lit setup, or you can be a run and gun vlogger and have many situations to switch back and forth from. Utilizing the slow motion on the side, whether you're once again in the office going over products and you wanna just get a more steady shot by using B-roll, or like how today we were out and about just kind of hanging out, vlogging, and I wanted to create some buttery, smooth slow motion to make the video better. Birds flying out there, making a whole bunch of noise and ruckus. Big thing that has been kind of Sony's crutch for all these years has been this thing here on the side, the flip out screen. So that way I know I'm in the shot, the camera has me in attention, I can see like, oh, I gotta put the lake in the background there, or I wanna put the trees over here, or I wanna display my wonderful wife right here, maybe focus on her instead.
About to slip and slide on these pebbles. I literally slipped when I was walking.
We got your life insurance in, right? But now that the A7S III has this option out here, and more of the Sony cameras will in the future, so who knows if a better option for vlogging and content does come out. Nonetheless, this changes the game for Sony, because Sony has always had, in the last few years, a pretty decent autofocus situation, except for the Sony A7S II. It was bearable, wasn't the best, but in terms of color, exposing, low light, slow motion, just the ability to be a run and gun filmmaker or run and gun content creator, vlogger, Sony has done very well with that. Could you imagine that just falling in right now?
Oh my God.
So another really good thing about this guy is the stabilization features in it. It's really cool. Again, for like being on the go, run and gun. To the point of this topic, when I spend this much money on something, what am I getting out of it to utilize my situations? If I'm out just trying to get some content and forget my gimbal, for example, will I at least be able to use the features in this camera for that situation? Absolutely. If I need to do a little ad bit for a YouTube collaboration, I want to take it a little bit more serious to try to sell this product for the company, so that way I can get more work with them in the future. I can create that professional stuff in the studio. Future me here working on the video almost forgot just a few minor things, just like some extra spices that I wanted to throw into the mix with this camera. Overheating with this camera, like virtually doesn't exist. You can record for an extremely long period of time as long as your memory card can handle it. The audio inputs on this are perfect for not only a microphone on top, but to also be able to HDMI out of this camera if you want to monitor things for many situations. Oh, and the battery life is really good on this thing as well. Wanted to just mention those few small things in here, just core basics. I don't need to explain the ins and outs of this camera, because if you want to know everything about it, you'd already be doing a review video on that. We're just talking why this is great for vlogging, content creation, stuff like that. I've used many cameras over the years, multiple brands, Nikon, Canon, Sony. I am in no way tied to them whatsoever. I've just used the products that best fit me for my needs. From doing YouTube, from doing live streaming, from doing content creation, working with companies, doing wedding films, doing commercial shoots as well. These cameras have been really great for my tools, but they have definitely had their like down points to them. And the reason why this camera is just so amazing is it's eliminated all those options, all those issues that I've had as a filmmaker, content creator, YouTuber, vlogger throughout the last few years. The only option it doesn't really eliminate is it is extremely expensive, and that sucks sometimes, especially when you are married and your spendings are a little bit more controlled now.
Are you talking about me?
Nope. How sick is my new fridge that Gfuel sent me? This came in yesterday. It was kind of one of the last things that I needed for my setup. So setup tour coming soon. Okay, so overall with this camera, regardless, this is a great camera, and there are a lot of really good camera options in 2020. But in an argument in terms of YouTube content creation and vlogging, if you eliminate the price tag, it's just like, give me something that does it all, especially with the current state of YouTube, which in all reality is us still adapting to 4K. And we got a long way to go till there's like really solid 4K footage on this platform, and the average viewer can actually watch everything at 4K. The Sony a7S III has to be the best vlogging YouTuber camera out right now. There's no sacrifices with this thing. It is just 100% a 4K monster. It gets the job done in so many situations. But the thing is, it's not really like needed. I want to make that very clear. I think there are so many camera options out there, like the Sony a7R III, the Canon EOS R5 and R6, Canon, Panasonic, and Sony's like smaller frame censored cameras. Your cell phone in itself, when you're talking YouTube, at the end of the day, it's a conversation that's being had. Want to point that out. But for some of us content creators, we do want the best of the best. And I respect that so much. If you have the budget for it and you want to get this camera, it's gonna be a great investment, not only for the right now, but also for the future moving forward. I would not stress over this thing if you're in a position to where you financially cannot afford this. It would put you in debt or some kind of like financial spiral. Don't do it. But at the end of the day, I'm also not your father, so I can't tell you how to live your life. But just know, whoever gets this camera for YouTube, vlogging, content, filmmaking, it doesn't matter, is going to be very happy with the results. It is an absolute beast. I hope today's video helped. If you enjoyed it, likes, comments down below, subscribe, turn on those notifications. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm out. Deuces.